On a peaceful morning in a quiet countryside village, Oliver and his grandmother Evelyn enjoyed another simple day inside their cozy little home. Every corner of the cottage was filled with warmth, laughter, and the comforting sounds of nature.
Oliver loved building tiny machines from old tools and broken clocks. His grandmother never laughed at his strange inventions. Instead, she always encouraged him to keep learning.
While searching through the old attic, Oliver noticed a mysterious metal box hidden beneath a dusty blanket. His heart raced with excitement. The moment Oliver opened the box, 2 glowing blue eyes suddenly appeared. A tiny robot slowly stood up and politely introduced itself. "I am not Toldy." Oliver hurried downstairs with his unexpected new friend. Although surprised, Grandmother Evelyn welcomed the little robot with kindness. The very next morning, everyone woke up to a wonderful surprise. The floors were shining, breakfast was ready, and every room looked perfectly clean. Soon, everyone nearby became curious about the tiny robot. Oliver proudly watched as visitors admired AURI's incredible abilities. Every day, AURI learned something new. Little by little, it finished every task before anyone else could even begin. Without realizing it, Oliver and his grandmother slowly stopped doing things together. One quiet morning, Grandmother Evelyn walked into the kitchen, ready to bake her favorite bread. But AURI had already finished everything before she even touched the flour. The kitchen was perfect, yet strangely silent. Oliver looked at his unfinished little invention. Before he could pick up his screwdriver, AURI quietly repaired it in seconds. Oliver smiled at first, but slowly put his tools away. Day after day, AURI finished every single chore. Clothes were folded, books were arranged, dishes were washed, and flowers were watered before anyone could lend a helping hand. That evening, dinner was delicious as always, yet something important was missing. There were no funny cooking mistakes, no playful conversations, and no joyful laughter around the table. The beautiful garden outside continued to bloom, but now AURI cared for every flower alone. Oliver and his grandmother simply watched through the window instead of working together. Inside its intelligent computer, AURI proudly calculated that family efficiency had reached 99%. According to its programming, everything was perfect, but it had never learned how to measure love, laughter, or togetherness. As dark clouds gathered outside, heavy rain suddenly covered the peaceful village. Oliver looked toward the garden with concern, unaware that this storm would soon teach all 3 friends an unforgettable lesson. The heavy rain continued for hours. Water slowly flooded the vegetable garden, and the flowers bent under the powerful wind. Oliver rushed toward the door, worried that all their hard work would be lost. Without waiting for instructions, AURI quickly built tiny drainage paths, lifted fallen flower pots, and protected every vegetable. Within minutes, the garden looked almost perfect again. Oliver smiled at the repaired garden, but Grandmother Evelyn quietly whispered, "When was the last time we solved a problem together?" Oliver looked down, unable to answer. As night arrived, bright lightning suddenly flashed across the sky. A loud clap of thunder shook the little cottage, and in an instant, every light went out. AURI's glowing eyes flickered, its energy slowly disappeared, and the little robot gently powered down. For the first time since arriving, the house became completely silent. The next morning, the cottage looked very different. The breakfast table was empty, the plants needed water, and the floor had little footprints from yesterday's rain. Nothing had been done. Grandmother Evelyn smiled and handed Oliver an old broom. Together they swept the floor, prepared breakfast, and watered the flowers. The work took longer, but every minute felt joyful. The pancakes were uneven. One even burned a little. Oliver accidentally dropped a spoon, and both of them laughed louder than they had in many weeks. The imperfect morning became their happiest one. Later that afternoon, electricity returned. AURI slowly powered back on. It scanned the room and noticed something unexpected. The house was less perfect than before, but everyone was smiling. AURI quietly observed the joyful laughter filling the cottage. Its computer could not understand why the family seemed happier even though many chores were unfinished. Oliver smiled and knelt beside his little friend. "No, AURI, you never failed." Grandmother Evelyn gently placed her hand on AURI's shoulder. "You helped us, but helping is different from replacing us." AURI carefully processed every word. Helping, learning, sharing. Its computer created a brand new understanding. For the very first time, AURI smiled because it understood friendship. The next morning was different. Instead of doing everything alone, AURI politely asked, "May I help you today?" When Oliver repaired toys, AURI handed him the tools. When grandmother watered flowers, AURI carried the watering cans. Everyone worked together, and somehow the work became the happiest part of every day. That evening, they gathered around the warm fireplace. They shared stories, laughed at funny mistakes, and celebrated another beautiful day together. AURI finally discovered something no computer could ever calculate: love, kindness, sharing. These were never numbers, they were moments. Years later, visitors still came to meet the famous little AI robot, but they always left remembering something even greater. Technology shines brightest when it walks beside humanity, never in front of it. And every sunrise brought 3 happy friends together: one curious boy, one loving grandmother, and one little AI robot who finally understood why humans smile.